What is up, YouTube world? I am Ashley D. Before I get started, I would like to apologize for my live stream being cut short early yesterday. Um, I don't know what's going on. I might have to go back to doing a few videos like this until I figure it out. But I do want to apologize for that as well, so as not continuing with my videos. I've taken a break for a little while. I've been having to get a few things taken care of, but I am back stronger than ever. Like I said, if you have any questions, anything you would like to discuss with any topics, I'll be glad to make a video in regards to that. But right now, this video is going to be based off of my Porsha Williams video from yesterday. I'm going to give my honest opinion. So, Porsha Williams, when she started off on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she seemed like a young married woman who was innocent. Her husband was an older guy. They played it as though he was kind of controlling and she was just trying to find her way. And I don't like to knock any woman down. So if you feel like you don't want realness or truthness coming from this video, I would appreciate it if you do not continue on to listen. If you can relate and you understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from, then please hit that like button, because Ashley D keeps it real, regardless, no matter what. So I will carry on. My thoughts about this situation. Like I said, Porsha seemed to come off as an innocent young housewife. And the show Real Housewives of Atlanta, to me, was supposed to be based on Black African-American influential couples doing well, establishing things, building careers and success. As the show went along, it slowly unraveled. We had one woman on there, which was Nene Leakes, and then Candy, who were the only married couple. We saw couples bash, argue, constantly get into it, and it didn't show that anymore. What we saw was a bunch of chaos every season. We saw dishonesty, no loyalty. We saw no partnership. We saw people seemed as though they were marrying for all the wrong reasons. And the show, to me, should have been went off air, or they should have brought on a few more married people to keep that energy, that flow of what the show was supposed to be based on. But we didn't get that anymore. Just like Married to Medicine. That was supposed to support that. It seems like all these shows that's supposed to be African American based, Black success, anything like that, it just shows chaos. And in the beginning of times when we first had Black sitcoms like the Cosbys, you know, a different world. We show college students, we show Black professional people. And now we just constantly see people with money that are confused, that are bickering all the time. And Porsha, to me, is not a person that I would want any young woman to look up to. She was one of my favorite to look at and watch, because I slowly watched her become a young woman to making it on her own and building her own name and doing things for herself. I didn't see her too much go out and open up her own store, but she was on the radio. She supported Black Lives Matter. She was supporting different movements, standing up for what she felt was right. And I thought that was good on her part. However, after her divorce with her husband, we saw her constantly get in and out of different relationships, as well so as entanglements. We saw text messages that were revealed from Candy and all these different things. And I'll go ahead and I'll say allegedly, but before I continue with anything or any information, but we saw all these things with Porsha that then symbolized what she wanted us to see in the beginning. And it made me realize that maybe that's not who Porsha really was. And it took a second for her to come out of her shell. When you become an older woman and you've been married, and whether it was a short time or not, you're going to call yourself a woman that knows what she wants and look for her worth. You're going to carry yourself at a higher standard. You're going to consider yourself pretty seasoned because you know what you want in a relationship and what you expect out of a relationship. And that's where a lot of people get things mixed up at. They get out of a long-term relationship and they spiral out of control after that because they're confused about who they are or they don't know how to control their emotions. That's where a lot of females make foolish mistakes and get in relationships with the first guy that they hook up with the first guy that asked them on a date, with the first guy that they show interest in. That's the guy that they feel like they need to be with or be in a relationship with. And you need to be honest with yourself as a woman. When you have certain things you want and you expect in a relationship, and if that guy does not meet those standards, you should not have to dumb yourself down or play yourself just to fit into that relationship, into that picture. Because it's going to constantly unravel and you're going to constantly try to justify things that you know are wrong in this relationship. And it's not going to go right. And we saw her constantly go from relationship to relationship. And when she got with Dennis, it threw us all back. But at the same time, I never looked at Porsha the same because I saw who Porsha really was. When Porsha went out of town on the couples trip and she was not invited, and it was drama started from Candy to where she said Candy wanted to take her to the sex dungeon allegedly and drug her allegedly. And Candy revealed those text messages right then and there. That should have shown anyone who Porsha was and who her character was and what type of person she was behind closed doors. Not only did she leave text messages saying she wanted to do something with Candy allegedly and Todd, but she also wanted to do girl things that we didn't think was Porsha. And she also said if Candy put the text messages on blast or if she brought it up about anyone, that she was going to deny it. So we saw right then and there Porsha was sneaky. So right then and there we should have knew, okay, Porsha's not the type of female that she wants us to think she is. Behind closed doors, she's someone else. And this is the thing. Well, my problem is I don't want young people looking up to these females and idolizing them because they're pretty, they're on TV, they have nice shapes, or whatever the case might be. Idolize someone that's doing something with themselves for the right reasons. Porsha is thirsty, and that's what I'm going to call her. Thirsty Porsha. She needs to get some water because she's too thirsty. She jumping in and out of confusing relationships, and she allegedly slept with a stripper. So we have Porsha sleeping with people, having hookups. And if you do these things and you're single and that's what you choose to do and you're a female, that's on you. But don't try to be one way and then turn around and all these scandalous things keep happening to you. Don't say you're in a relationship, that's what you want, but yet you want to continue to walk around and act like a thought. And most importantly, if you supposedly went to marriage counseling last season about Dennis, the relationship, trying to fix that, which you allowed Dennis the first time when he revealed to you who he was. You can look at Dennis and Porsha and tell they were an eye match. At first we thought they were just trying to do this because they wanted TV. She wanted a relationship for the season. And it just didn't pair right together. But once she got pregnant and everything, and she started to try to go after females, fight and all this over this man, I said, okay, maybe she does have feelings for him. And you can tell how a person moves and who they're with to tell you exactly who they are. All these accusations came out about Dennis allegedly having porn with animals. You know, he took all these women out to dinner. We saw those pictures. So after all this happened, he even cheated on her while she was pregnant. After all these bad things happened, she allowed this man to once again propose to her again, to turn around and act like she's upset with him this season. She didn't speak on it too much. She allegedly engaged in activity with the stripper. And then all of a sudden, what? That season not even over yet. The reunion just got done. And now we're hearing about her engaged to someone else that was on a season, to where she went to this house where this woman was and her husband. It's no justification for that type of behavior. You got to call it what it is. Porsha is a thirsty thought. Just flat out. And these are the type of women that cannot be trusted, that we cannot have around our man and be comfortable. She's the type of person that will throw you at the bottom of the barrel and won't think twice and climb up to stay in the spotlight. She's the type of person that needs someone, a man, to validate her in the relationship so she feels good about herself, because she does not know who she is. What we should have saw this season from Porsha, besides her shaking her tail and allegedly having sexual activity around with a stripper. And then you think about this. Porsha is 40 years old, if not a little older. And she's a mother of a young girl. She's on TV. Her mother watches the show as well, so it's her sister. So you get out of a relationship to conduct yourself with the lowest of the lowest. You don't know how many people this stripper sleep with a night. If he an escort, if he gets paid for it. You don't know anything about this man. And to allow yourself to be on TV to try to deny it, but yet it was out there, and they tried to remove the tape as much as they could because someone claimed to sue somebody, whatever the case was. We heard the audio, and we know what Kenya and Candy said. And they didn't say that much, but guess what? They didn't have to. They said enough. Sometimes not saying too much and saying a little bit reveals a lot if you just pay attention. She allowed herself to be in the room with one of her friends engaging in sexual activity. She's not a college girl. She's not a young girl. She's a mother in her 40s that just got out of a relationship. And if she wanted to be single, that's fine. But conduct yourself in a manner to where you're not on TV looking foolish like that, and your child will be able to go back and see that one day. You are treated the way you want to be treated. If you can carry yourself like that as a woman, you're going to be treated like that as a woman. No one is going to value you or take you serious. And that's point blank, period. That's why she's attracted a dentist. That's why that's the type of man that she's attracted, because that's how she carried herself. That's the energy she sent off to the universe. When you carry yourself like that, those are the type of scumbags you will continue to attract. And since she's been out of that real marriage, let's be real, what healthy relationship has Porsha had since the beginning of her time on Real Housewives of Atlanta? And to be honest, that wasn't even a healthy relationship to me. What was healthy about that? They went to counseling, and it's normal for people to go to counseling. But to be real with you, these TV personality people and so many more people, they want to do things backwards nowadays, not the traditional way anymore. She had the nerve to say on TV that he looked it cool, he was okay, allegedly, so she thought it was fine for her to have a baby with him. That's fine and dandy. You're getting older and you want to have a child. But then it's out of all people, and that's how you made your pick. People don't take being a parent, to me, serious nowadays like they should. Because if they did, they will be careful about who they choose to have a child with, that they're going to be stuck looking at for the rest of their life. So if that's how you choose your child's father, I can only imagine how you choose your spouse. What is it? Based on his swag, how he looks, how many drinks he buys, how you vibing for that moment? And her mind is so young, the mentality, you can even tell how she interacts on that show. She showed no growth. She should have showed us getting out of that marriage in the beginning, her opening up something, partnering with someone, or just doing her own thing, shining. We never saw her shine on her own. We saw promiscuous behavior time after time, her constantly getting into it with each and every cast member. So she had no loyalty towards anyone. And then she pops up out of nowhere with this man that was supposed to be a player, has his child. Now she's supposed to have relations with a stripper, and now out of nowhere, she's engaged after a month to one of her cast members, her ex-husband, when the ink has not even dried on the paper. You're going through a lustful state. And in a lustful state, any real woman, any real man knows, in the beginning of a relationship, it will feel good like a honeymoon phase. Everyone knows that. So give yourself time to be around this person to see if you guys have things in common instead of just lust. You're basing things off of attraction. And it takes more than attraction to be married, for better or worse down the line. And that's why I don't appreciate people not taking that as serious. They want to show us doing things backwards work. Have the child first, then go to marriage counseling. Then try to work on your relationship. No, you go to marriage counseling first so the little issues that you have can be ironed out and talked about. And then you have a child together after you get married. And I don't understand, why is she still on this show anyways when it's Real Housewives, keyword housewives, wives of Atlanta. We have all these single women on there. Now we just have Cynthia and Candy, and Kenya's going through her divorce. I didn't agree with the way Kenya behaved in the beginning with Porsha and her husband. I think that was flirty and very disrespectful and distasteful. However, Kenya tried to redeem herself down the line and benefit from this show. I will give that to her. She has her hair care product put out. She waited till she was married, which I don't think her marriage was based on love, but at least she still tried to have those morals about her before she had a child. Porsha, in her mind, she thinks like she's in her early 20s. She doesn't think before she reacts, even if she got engaged to this guy. He's just going through a divorce. You couldn't wait 3 or 4 more months down the line before you stuck your neck out to put it all out there. For not only now a side chick came forward allegedly and says she's been with him the month before you were with him. And you can't have me believe in my mind that you are foolish enough to only be with this man that you say you're going to co-parent with, and you don't know how he acts with kids. You don't know how he's going to feel 4 more months down the line, the older your daughter get, when she's running around the house, touching things, tearing up things. He could be a neat freak. You don't seem like you're a hands-on parent, because I don't hardly ever see you on there with your daughter doing something fun with her unless you were invited to a birthday party. Everything was girl trip, girl time, fun this, fun that. We saw where your priorities were pretty much. We didn't see you trying to co-parent with Dennis. We didn't see you guys meet somewhere to take your daughter something fun so your daughter can have some type of relationship and interaction with both of her parents together, so she can grow up and say, hey, my parents may not have been together and it didn't work out, but at least we meet up once a week and we do something that's benefiting me so I can have some type of structure. You have to give your kids some type of structure. Even in a relationship, if it has come to the end of the road with your child's father and you have to go your separate ways, it's better that you guys can remain cool with no bitterness in between, because that can break up the relationship with that child and that father or that mother. And it can set the mind and the energy completely off. So it's important that you learn to co-parent. You're going to have to meet each other at basketball games together. He might have his girlfriend there. She might have her boyfriend. You have to learn how to be civil. If not for your sake, and you not bitter and you over it and you moving forward, let that energy go. For the better of that child, so that child can grow up with some type of structure with them. So they can see my parents are still decent towards each other. They're not still barking at each other's throats, saying this, saying that every time they see me. You want to be who you are, and as you get older, work on bettering yourself, some type of change and growth. And we never ever received that from Porsha, because Porsha is thirsty. She's fetching for a storyline, and she'll do anything she can to stay in the front and center. And people like her make it hard for decent women out here like us. You didn't allow this lady, whether they both came to mutual agreements about the divorce, you did not allow her to go through her grieving time, to give her a few months to herself, to clear her head from her divorce before you threw it out there, because you're selfish. You are a gold digger. You are a sack chaser. You are not worthy of a decent man. And this man apparently doesn't make the best decisions as well, because he allegedly was only married to her for a year. So I can't count on neither one of you to be responsible enough to make the best decision, what's best as an adult, besides just looking at each other as lust. And you think that's what keeps a marriage together. You don't even know what type of guy this man is from only a month. When we're young, we do crazy and foolish things. We make crazy choices. We get into relationships that we think we're going to like this person forever, or it's going to last. Then we find out at the end that it wasn't worth it. We find out that we should have been broke up. We're two different people. But you grow from that. And we don't see any growth with Porsha this season, last season, or the season before that. So I vote her off the island. All we see is disaster after disaster. So my final thoughts on Porsha and the whole situation is I will vote her off the show. The show is becoming trashy. I don't even want to watch it anymore. And for her to do something like that and be as bold as she is as a mother, as a woman, I have no more respect for her. And even her co-workers are laughing, and it's a joke to them. Like each season, Porsha, it's more and more and more we're finding out about you. Like, how much more thirsty can you be? Like, you could have been with any other guy, but yet the first guy with some money, you decide to want to rush into an engagement with him. And I guarantee you, if he's a smart man, he's going to make you sign a prenup. Let's just be real. So the only thing you're going to be marrying him for, sweetie, is the status. Hey, guess what? I don't think he's going to marry you. My bet's on 99%. This man will not marry you. And if he did, it won't last for a year either. Maybe you should have did your research, sweetie, before you put the same exact ring on that he put on his first wife. The same exact looking ring. They look alike. If he really cared about you and he was trying to go forward with some type of change, he would not have been thinking about the same kind of ring. And secondly, maybe you should have did your research instead of the same old line when people break up. We were just too different. We went our own ways. Within a year, someone's getting married, they're divorcing. You should have sit back and observed and found out what happened in this marriage. Maybe he's a control freak, like I said. He wants things a certain way. He requires certain things from a woman. And she was tired of it and walked away. But that's on you. You going for the money, so I hope it was worth it. Your character as a female, as a woman who's supposed to be building herself, establishing herself on national TV. But yet you constantly degrade yourself over and over again for that little check. I hope it was worth it, thirsty Porsha. Thanks to each and every one of you out there for tuning in to me today. I just wanted to give my insight on the whole Porsha Williams situation. If you know someone like Porsha, I would advise you, don't trust them. Cut your ties, speak, and keep it moving. They have no loyalty towards anyone. They will side-eye your man when the relationship going bad. They will be dancing around them in some boy cut shorts. They probably the same chick that call from a private number and tell your boyfriend some important information about you that you only share with them. That's the type of chick she is. And after this, I have wrote Porsha Williams off. Have a great weekend to each and every one of you. And if you feel exactly how I feel about Porsha, and you know somebody like Porsha, or you ever been around somebody like Porsha, and you had to cut them short, please hit that like button. You understand where I'm coming from. And also be sure to tune in with me tomorrow for my Mystery Saturday. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am Ashley D, and I will talk to you later. Peace.